Nathalie, Domina. Welcome back to my YouTube channel. If you do not know who I am, I'm a Roman Catholic YouTuber and I do YouTube videos on all things Catholicism. So if you're Protestant, Catholic, or whoever you are welcome here. So today I'm going to be doing a little bit different of a video than I've ever done on my channel. I'm going to be doing basically movie reviews of upcoming movies and movies that have just been released. I'm just going to be reviewing them for you. Christian, Catholic movies, they're basically Catholic movies, but I mean Christian but with Catholic undertones. So yeah, I'm going to be reviewing them for you, telling you if I would watch them, if I have watched them, if I will, all that jazz. So stay tuned because this video is going to be very important. So if you haven't already, make sure to follow me on Instagram, and you can check my link tree up in my about page just so you can get to all the links of everything. Make sure to go follow me on Spotify to listen to the Soli Deo Glory podcast, where you can hear me talk about all things Catholicism over there for just a little bit longer. So make sure to go check out all my socials, and now I'll get on with the video. So the first movie I would like to talk about is the Padre Pio movie. Now I'm sure you guys have heard many reviews of this movie already, or if people are going to watch it or not watch it, whatever. So I just wanted to give my little take on it, because at first I was super excited, like I think a lot of people were super excited to see this Padre Pio movie. I was like, wow, I honestly don't know much about Padre Pio. Not sure, like, actually what he did, when he lived, like, I don't know. I didn't know, so I was super excited. Then I started listening to reviews and things on the movie, and I was like, oh. There are many things mentioned. I'm just going to go into like broader things because I have other movies to talk about, but I've heard things mentioned where there is sacrilege to our Blessed Mother, to an image of Blessed Mother, and you'd be like, okay, that's fine. Like, we see other bad things in movies, right? We see war, we see killing, right? But they don't actually die, right? There's some sins that you can like mimic, kind of, where you don't actually commit the sin, because when you're killing someone, an actor kills another character, right? The sin of murder wasn't actually committed, like they didn't actually kill the human, right? But when you're committing a sin of sacrilege, you can't not commit the sin of sacrilege. There's some sins that can't be mimicked, they just actually happen. If, oh, like in the movie we're gonna have this actor like be addicted to this thing, like, but they're actually taking drug, like, okay, they're actually doing it. But if it's just a fake and it looks like you're doing the drug, right, that's fine. So, but to actually commit the sin, to actually do it, that can't be just acting, that's actually happening. So I would not watch a film where sacrilege is actually happening. And then there's other things I've just heard of, just bad like movie things where it's just mainly focuses on like communism and things like that, where it's like, okay, I thought this was a movie about Padre Pio, I'm not really learning much about him, you know, that type of thing. So that's my take on it. Let me know y'all's thoughts down below, yeah, what your thoughts are. But as of now, I will not be watching that movie. The second movie I would like to talk about is Nefarious. So I'm assuming you guys have heard of this movie too. If not, I'll just give you a little description. Basically, it's about this man who is imprisoned, but he says that he really isn't justly there and justly shouldn't be put on death row, because he is actually a demon is actually inside of him and trapped in him, right? So he's possessed. So there's this like psychiatrist, I believe, is trying to talk to this man, have his interviews with him just to see if like, is this man really telling the truth or like what? But this psychiatrist is an atheist, and so you just see that all play out, right? So with this movie, I actually have not seen it yet. I've just heard things about it, so I can't really go into like my opinion about the movie, but I am really excited to see this movie and I really want to see it. So let me know y'all's thoughts if you have seen it, because I have heard that Gabby After Hours, I don't know if y'all have heard of him. If not, go look him up, and you should subscribe to him because he is amazing. But he talked about this movie being basically like a retelling of the Screw Tape Letters, kind of. It's like a modern day Screw Tape Letters. He loves this movie. #1 Catholic movie right now, he says. So I am super excited to see it. I'm just waiting for the price to go down on like Amazon. But I think that this movie is really good, and actually Hollywood was trying not to advertise this movie because the demon actually tells a lot of things that are happening in our world, like abortion, and like, yeah, you know, issues we're having today. He talks about how they're bad and how like he's infiltrating like that. So I think that this movie is definitely one to see because the media is pushing it away, which means it's probably good for our faith. The next movie you guys may not have heard of. I actually didn't hear of it until I watched the next movie that I'll be talking about. I didn't hear it until I watched that movie in the trailers, the previews. It showed this movie. But that movie that I'm going to be talking about now is CAPRINI. I don't even think that's the official name of the movie. I think it is, but I think they're still trying to even name it. I think it is CAPRINI. I don't know. But basically, it's on the life of St. Frances CAPRINI. She was an American saint who served the Lord. She founded her own order here in America. And yeah, so it's a very, she's a very beautiful saint, amazing, like with the work she did and everything like that. Again, this movie is not out, so no one has like reviewed this movie or anything. I actually haven't even seen anything about this movie, but just looking at the trailer, that's basically what I'm gonna go off of. So the trailer of St. Frances CAPRINI, first off, I didn't even know it was like a saint film in the beginning. I was like, well, what is even going on here? It was very much like a story about a woman who was breaking through, you know what I mean, that type of thing. And I was like, what is this? Then finally later I was like, oh, this is about St. Frances CAPRINI. And I was like, what? Because I was like, I just was seeing Francis and things. I was like, what even is this movie? So the movie, or the trailer at least, I'm just going off the trailer because again, the movie could be completely different, but I think the trailer shouldn't deceive the movie, right? But the trailer very much seemed like this woman was being oppressed by all the bishops, by all the priests. They weren't letting her start an order. They even made a comment in the trailer like, oh, Francis, if you were, or you would have made a good man. Like if you were a man, you could have done this. And it was just, it was very much the way, like the shadowing stuff of the priests, it was just very much showing that like they were very, what's the word? Oppressive, I guess, towards her. They were very much in a world where the priests are bad. They're these men lovers, hate women, you know. And so she was like, just because I'm a woman doesn't mean I can't do this. It was just very much like a feminist type of talk. And I just think that if Frances would have been a lot, like if this was actually the story of her, I feel like she wouldn't have been like, oh, I'm a woman, I can still do this. She would have been like, I'm a servant of God, we all are, and I'm able to serve. It wasn't that they didn't want her to start this because she was a woman. It was because they never let people do things. Like, I'm just saying, St. Louis de Montfort, he wanted to be a missionary. He literally walked all the way to the Pope's house, or the Vatican, because he wasn't able to, you know what I mean? Like, every guy, like, every girl, whatever, it's always been hard for them to start things, always been hard to do things, right? So it's not that the church is oppressive towards women. That's just the way I felt during the trailer. Let me know in your comments if you've seen this trailer and what your thoughts are. I thought it looked really good, and I was like, oh, like, this is so cool about her, but it was just, I don't know, just something seemed off to me about it. It just seemed very much like, yeah, not the way she would have actually been living her life, and not actually would have happened. Let me know, like, please forgive me if I'm wrong. Maybe I don't know the true story, but I've just never heard of anything of her being like oppressed because she was a woman. Maybe I'm wrong. And the last movie, of course, I'm going to be talking about this one. It is The Sound of Freedom with Jim Caviezel. So you guys probably have all heard of this, probably seen movie reviews, probably have seen the movie. So I saw this movie about, what, a week ago? Maybe less than a week ago. I'm not even sure. No, I think it was like, I don't know, 5 days ago. We'll go with. So this movie, I was excited to see, and then I was skeptical to see because I was like, oh, I don't really know. I've heard people were like, oh, this is kind of sad, whatever. I watched it, and man, that was like very impactful. Honestly, like my honest opinion of it, I really liked the way they portrayed. They didn't really show anything bad, you know what I mean? Like they didn't show anything bad. It was more just like scaring you in your mind of like, I can't believe this is happening to kids, which I thought was good. Like they didn't show anything weird. Like, they didn't actually treat the kids weird in this movie or anything. They were good and, like, saving the actual kids, because again, you can't mimic some sins. Some sins can't be mimicked, right? It just actually happens. They did really good with that. Yeah, I thought it was really good. It was kind of funny because in the movie, I'm not trying to spoil anything. This isn't spoiling, but there was kind of like 3 adventures they went on. So it's like, we do this one, we solve this little case thing. Then the next one, we solve this little case thing. And then the last one is like the big main case thing. But it was just, I liked that because I was like, oh, I thought it was done at like the second case. And then I was like, oh, there's more. So I really liked that. I thought the movie was really well portrayed. And I liked at the end, like the statistics and the little like, little video that Jim does just to explain a little bit about human trafficking. And yeah, I think it's really good. Yeah, I don't really have much to say about that. I thought it was really good. The one thing I would say is that I feel like it showed a lot about human trafficking in other countries, which is really good to have that awareness out. But I would have wished they maybe, I mean, I guess it's fine how it is, but if I had to say one critique, just to put it more in America, just to show like how bad it is in America of human trafficking and like why we need to stop it here in America, just to raise awareness of like, look how bad this is here in America. So yeah, that was just my little critique. But yeah, so those are all the movies that I have for you guys today. Let me know if you want me to do a part 2 or anything of this, or if you have any movies that you want me to watch and then review, anything like that, let me know. But yeah, that's it for today's video. I hope you guys enjoyed. Please like and subscribe down below if you haven't already. And again, make sure to follow me over on Instagram and to go listen to my podcast, because my next podcast episode will be out August 1st, and I can't wait for you guys to listen to that one. So yeah, I love you guys so much and have a blessed day. St. Padre Pio, pray for us. Have a blessed day, y'all.